Right. As you know, the history of Team Unity, especially in recent times, has been, I think, unfortunate. Because I have said and continue to say that I believe the idea of Team Unity and the core principles that inform Team Unity really have been the best that the country has come up with since independence. I genuinely felt that it was a platform for bringing people together, uniting the people of St. Kitts and Nevis in a way that has never happened, and uniting political parties and persuasions in a way that has never happened. We came to the people, and I think the people were persuaded that we represented a new dispensation and a new approach. In fact, it is instructive that I listened to an interview of some 8 years ago where the now Prime Minister, Dr. Harris, was then a leader of Team Unity in St. Vincent, and he pointed to the dysfunctional nature, as he described it, of the Denzel Douglas-led cabinet. And what I found was instructive. He said that these matters were allowed to fester and it was a failure of leadership. That has stuck with me. Because in all that has been happening and with all the tension as you described it and with all the difficulties, the Honorable Prime Minister has not extended a hand to say to his colleagues, let us sit and seek to resolve these issues. It is the Honorable Sean Richards and I who on the 28th of March presented by a hand delivery a letter to the Honorable Prime Minister seeking an urgent meeting. That meeting did not occur until 9 days later. When that meeting occurred on the 6th of April, we had cordial discussions, to be sure, but difficult discussions because issues were put very firmly on the table, concerns were raised, and were put for consideration. The Honorable Prime Minister would have indicated that he required time to consider, and we decided to reconvene for a second meeting on Holy Thursday, which I believe is the 14th or was the 14th of April.
Yes.
We, at that meeting, naturally expected that we could come to the nation and say, we have met, we have discussed, and within the context of unity and the ethos of unity and togetherness and brotherhood, we have come to a resolution that we can all live with. Sadly, the Honorable Prime Minister was unmoved on Holy Thursday and could offer nothing but platitudes, suggesting that we must develop a framework for further discussion and these types of, how should I put it, the types of responses that you get when individuals are not really interested in confronting and dealing with the real issues. The Honorable Sean Richards and I, who as leaders of PAM and CCM respectively, command amongst us 7 of the 11 elected seats in the National Assembly. We therefore decided that we would commit to writing the concerns and invite a response from the Honorable Prime Minister by Wednesday, yesterday, the 20th of April.
Yes.
That letter was hand-delivered and we waited for a response. That response would have come at 1:51 a.m. this morning via email, and that response ran to some 18 pages. It was an exercise in futility, because having looked at the response in those 18 pages, we could see no indication that the Honorable Prime Minister was minded to consider, far less to compromise in relation to the various matters that had been raised. The letter ran to 18 pages and spoke about governance and principles that should guide cabinet. It made accusations. It said who understood and who didn't understand government and how government should be run. But the bottom line is that the issues that we confront and the issues that have been plaguing the functioning of the government and the functioning of the cabinet were largely ignored. And so on none of the issues that we have raised since the 6th of April was there any response that we could look at and say that this would form the basis for some meaningful discussions going forward. To that end, we have activated other measures, and I am advised that communication has been sent to His Excellency the Governor General indicating the position that we currently hold, that the Honorable Timothy Harris does not command the support of a majority of elected members in the National Assembly. It is a matter for the GG, His Excellency, to act. We believe, based on legal advice that we have taken, that he does in fact have the authority to act, and therefore we have invited him to do so. I'm advised that a statement shall be forthcoming. I had hoped that that statement would have been issued prior to this interview, but I'm advised that it shall be forthcoming shortly, and that the Honorable Sean Richards, who is, of course, the leader in relation to these matters, that he will then have something to say publicly on the matter. As it relates to resignations, I believe that all options are on the table at this point. I'm not aware that any resignations have happened, but I am aware that the status quo, which it appears the Prime Minister is prepared to keep at all costs, that status quo can no longer serve the best interests of the people